Ruidosa Inmundicia, Ida, album review time. So yeah, today we're gonna be talking about Ruidosa Inmundicia. This is a hardcore punk band from Vienna, Austria. They formed around the year 2002. I think some of the band members might be from Chile. And what we have on this record is pretty much 15 minutes of just raging fast and angry hardcore punk that is yet somehow quite melodic. The band has a lot of like catchy chord progressions. Sometimes they have these soaring guitar solos, and on the choruses you usually have the vocalist shouting one or two words and repeating them. So every song kind of has that sing-along vibe to it, that catchy vibe to it, even though the songs average on about 1 minute playtime. They're very fast, very angry, but they somehow always stay melodic and catchy. And I think a lot of that, like melodicism or catchiness to the songs might come from an influence from Burning Spirits. For those of you who don't know, Burning Spirits is basically like a niche style of hardcore punk that appeared in Japan when a lot of Japanese hardcore punk bands started integrating metal influence, be it having catchy chord progressions or, having soaring guitar and melodic guitar solos. They took influence from heavy metal bands like probably Motorhead or Iron Maiden. And yeah, they just turned up with this very, energetic, but at the same time quite anthemic style of hardcore punk that became very, characteristic of bands from Japan. So yeah, when I'm listening to Ida, I hear a lot of those catchy chord progressions. Sometimes they have those soaring guitar solos, and like I said, those kind of sing-along, easy to follow vocals that are somehow quite like, extreme or harsh vocals, but at the same time they don't lose that sing-along or like anthemic quality to them. And I don't think it's just me talking about this influence from what I hear in the sound. I also think some of the band like connections or like references can be proof to that as well. So for example, I found out about this band while watching a Think Again music video. Ryu, who is a guitar player and singer for Think Again, had a bunch of stickers on his guitar from bands like Forward and Nightmare, and Think Again themselves also being part of that Burning Spirit style. I thought that was very cool, but at the same time, on his guitar, he had a sticker from Ruidosa Inmundicia, which is a band I never heard before, and the band name being in Spanish sort of like attracted my interest, so I just went on to listen to them. And then after listening and hearing that kind of like influence in the sound, they're not quite the same as these bands are taking influence from. They also have a like fast and raging hardcore punk sound to them. It's more aggressive. It's not as, catchy or single. I mean, it still has those qualities, but it doesn't, give up on being very angry and very fast hardcore punk. And not only with Think Again, I also went to the band's Instagram page and I saw that they had a picture with Ishiya from Dead Side, who is pretty much the band who is credited with inventing the Burning Spirit style, of being one of the pioneers. And they apparently had been playing some shows together with the band, and also one of the band members in that picture had a shirt from Mustang, which is another Japanese band from that niche style. So yeah, overall, all of these connections, all of these like references here and there made me think, okay, like for sure these guys are influenced by Japanese hardcore punk bands, especially like the Burning Spirits bands. But not only that, you could also say they also have, that like thrashcore or like fastcore, whatever you want to call it, sound to them. And of course, this band has a split with Drop Dead. Also on their Instagram, I saw that they had a picture with the band members from Drop Dead, so that's definitely an influence from them. And them liking these like Japanese hardcore punk bands and also being into bands like Drop Dead, you cannot really rule out influences from maybe bands like SOB or Gauze. So yeah, overall, like I said, 15 minutes, catchy yet very angry hardcore punk, and they don't let up. Like every song here is great, everything is consistent, it's just a great record overall. Production wise, this is hardcore punk, so it's obviously not the cleanest thing. It has some of that dirt in there. But at the same time, every instrument is quite well balanced on this release, especially the bass, which kind of gives it way more punch to it, so the sound is not as hollow, which I thought was very cool. And talking about the lyrics real quick, overall, they seem to talk a lot about discontent with the current state of the world or the system, being very angry and fed up with hypocrisy, lies, and human stupidity. And you could argue that it's somehow a very like angry or like pessimistic view on the world, but at the same time, I don't think it makes it any less real and valid. So yeah, this is a band that I kind of wish I found out about way sooner. I mean, they've been around since like the early 2000s, and I just find about them now. I, of course, listen to the entire discography, and if I can recommend this record, I can really recommend anything from them. For fans of, fast and angry hardcore punk, or maybe for fans of like Japanese bands and stuff like that, whatever you like of those two things, I think you will really like this band. So yeah, Ruidosa Inmundicia, Ida. Pretty fucking good.